in general, check your supply chain. You just never know when, even you, Jim, if you're doing assemblies, you just never know where the source of one of those products could be coming from overseas. And, making sure that you have that sustainability in the products that you deliver is very important. That's sustainability is a part of leadership, whether it's, operational sustainability in this case or financial sustainability. You need to make sure that you can, deliver on your supply chain. And that comes down to checking that whether you're going to have any problems.
Yeah, and having some redundancy or a plan B, or we make a lot of tombstones at Advanced, and our castings, our foundry is no longer in existence.
Oh, is that right?
So that was a big, okay, well, what are we going to do now? And
what are you going to do now?
Well, we found some alternative foundries, and we're working with them
overseas
to keep the costs low, because speaking of overseas, we have to benchmark our pricing against people who import castings from overseas. And so talk about sustainability and having redundancy. I mean, that's a perfect case example.
One of the things that I mentioned to Mike is he told me that these parts were being made from a casting in China before, and now he's having to manufacture it from a billet. And so obviously it's more expensive.
Right.
But what I told Mike was, and this is what I would say other manufacturing leaders in that kind of situation, do the job, or he's going to do, I'm not telling him to do, he's doing the job, but quote a casting from here in the United States too, because it's probably going to be less expensive. And, you could look for alternative ways in order to, compete with China, because they're not the lowest cost country like they used to be 10, 20 years ago. So their costs have risen too. So this is a great, I would say the great call to action here is this is an awakening call for U.S. manufacturing.
So how do we really think this pandemic is going to affect our industry?
I don't think we quite know yet.
Okay. So
we're seeing some ripples.
To be proactive, right? To be proactive and transparent to ourselves and our employees, how do we prepare if this really, really starts to become serious? What can we do now to be proactive?
Well, we don't know the future, so we don't know how big this is going to go, but we can look to the past. So like some
SARS.
of these other things, they always clear it up. So,
yeah, good point, Nick.
I have a buddy who's a financial advisor, and he sent me his newsletter this week, and it was like, guys, this has happened before.
Right.
And now is the time to buy. When things go way down.
Don't panic and pull your money out.
Stay invested.
It comes on both sides. I mean, the stock market could still go down significantly.
Sure.
Or it could rise back up because people are starting to buy low.
Right.
But there's still companies such as, like bigger companies like automotive and, say like Apple, they're going to continue having some challenges.
And we know how our media works, right? So like we make
know
mountains out of molehills. And I'm not saying this is a molehill. This could,
we were supposed to get 14 inches
I almost
of snow
didn't go
Chicago,
to Germany, because of this thing. So it's not just a little molehill, but look, I'm going to Germany. So, I'm not going to change my life too much because of the coronavirus.
The Germans are pretty clean though.
Yeah,
especially
they are.
My argument was like, I think these things die at elevation where I'll be skiing. So
yeah, there you go. They freeze.
So I mean, to kind of answer your question,
wear a mask though, Nick. Okay.
Yeah, don't freak out too much. Don't change everything because we're not in a zombie apocalypse.
Just be proactive.
So, and just be cautious.
Sure.
Yeah, and check your supply chain where you might have implications that. This could potentially become a problem.
So if you're utilizing anything from overseas, maybe you better have a plan B to be able to get those products. Yeah, absolutely. If that supply chain gets halted.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you
might
wash
your hands.
And wash your hands. I mean, there might be certain situations where, you gotta, from my perspective, we might have to start selling gloves that are more expensive, or these cutting
that are made
tools
in the USA.
Yeah,
right.
they're made in the USA, or these cutting tools that were made in Asia. It could change. So yeah.
So would it be fair to say that if you can't get parts or if you can't get supplies, you're not making chips?
You're not making money.
Bam.
Bam.